Let's start with the 7 gestures, just for a change. You can, of course, sit on a chair if you find the floor arduous. Now, it's quite possible, I suspect, that most of you know how to sit, but can you kind of feel each component part as we go through it? So rather than thinking about it, instructing yourself, let me do that. You can come to the kind of sensory quality of each gesture. You could even make it slightly expressive if you wish. So the first, of course, is the base of the body, the way it meets the cushion, the way it meets the ground or the chair seat, the way the feet are, the legs. You could think of it as everything sort of below the navel settling, making contact and gravitating. It can be the simple practicality of a body resting, settling, meeting the ground, or meeting the surface it's touching. Or if you want a more esoteric idea, you could think of settling into and through the ground, putting down roots. And experientially, you may find that as you settle down, you also get a kind of rebound, kind of rising up. So physicists will talk to you about gravity. So the cows come home. But there is a sense of not just the settling, but the kind of pushing force of gravity, a kind of springy quality. You think of the movement you feel in a lift. It goes quickly or starts, accelerates quickly, or if you drop a rubber ball on a hard surface, the way it bounces. So you can allow that settling of the base to come into the ascending through the midline or the rising through the kind of spine line. And if anything, this is the most gestural of qualities, probably the most important of the 7 gestures, is feeling that upright. And I tend to think of it anatomically as up through the front of the spine. That's where the principal ligament runs. And then you can come up behind the heart, which is an interesting area. Even a subtle lift to the chest and the settling of the shoulders allows the hands and arms to relax. And the shoulders, shoulder blades, have that settling feeling. As if the kind of inner core of the body, vertical core of the body rises. And the skeletal body rests. The weighty body. And that gives rise to the freedom through the throat, the chin dropping a little. Back of the neck has a feeling of ease. Perhaps the base of the skull softly lifts at the back. Ears over shoulders. And then the kind of fine tuning of the expressive muscles, the face, the jaw, the eyes, all that kind of mask of the face can relax. The mouth can be slightly open if you wish. Tip of the tongue could rest on the upper palate behind the top teeth if that's useful for you. Kind of evens up the flow of feeling. And then sensing the kind of unity of the body, feeling of being there. And adding to that the flow of feeling, the breathing and the movements and subtle sensations that arise as a result, or even to create breathing, the movements, the spaces, expanding and condensing, gentle pulse of life. And then you can relax the whole kit and caboodle of it, all the baggage and instruction of it, and just rest in feeling, however that manifests for you. And the word rest might be synonymous with relax. In other words, you don't need to stir the pot. You don't need to push anything away or court a particular way of feeling. Just be how you are, quite contentedly. And as you rested, the kind of aspiration to be at ease or even in the quality of ease, as you relax into that or you kind of accept that without the mind imposing too much or at all, you may find there's a quality of spaciousness, a less physical experience. Again, breathing may well help here if it's not your experience, or if you want to nudge it a little, encourage it a little. Think of a gentle kind of ah or ah as you breathe out. You don't have to vocalize it, but that sense of relaxing. And can you give me a sense of spaciousness? A nudge even further by thinking of space inside the head, kind of radiance, luminosity, expanse of feeling, sensation spreading and permeating. And then similarly at the throat. And again of that sense of spacious ease to the heart region. And to the kind of abdominal area, the navel region and below. Good. And then if you just turn your hands inwards, if you're on a chair, you may need to widen your knees a little bit. Step your feet further apart. If you're sitting kind of cross-legged or some equivalent on the floor, then you'll probably be okay. But you just turn your fingers in, which will take the elbows more or less above the wrists. Shoulders can still settle. You can allow the kind of body weight to drop through the legs, but you're not pushing down. And very, very slowly the head can fall forwards and the body can kind of furl its way forwards. So it half folds, it half bends at the hips, and it half curls, hence furl. Keep the sit bones back and down. You're not tipping forwards on your cushion or your chair. You're just gradually easing yourself into that forward fold. The back can round, the head can hang a little. And then stabilize it a little bit by putting your attention right at the base of the spine. So not just the sacrum, but right down to the tail and the kind of anal area. Again, you don't need to do anything physically with that area, you just put your attention there. You might find your navel draws in a little because of the body shape. Doesn't matter how far forwards we go. So gently turn your fingers to point forwards again. And if you want to slightly press, you could drop the sit bones back a little more, engage a little more with your cushion through the back of the pelvis. And then very, very slowly unfurl. Begin to gather up through the spine line or the middle line. The head, the shoulders, the neck will be last of all. And then if there's any left in the shoulders once you're up, you can let them relax. And again, simply sit. Perhaps that soft depth of feeling at the throat, forwards and back, forwards, back and up slightly. And you can let the body have a kind of comfortable knowing quality. There's nothing that you need to impose on it. It knows how to be. And if we get out of the way, if we don't judge or label, it will relax. Is there an area that you're still unnecessarily holding on? Perhaps the forehead or the jaw or the throat. Just allow that sense of easing or that creeping calmness to kind of spread a little. So can you do the whole exercise again, but with a lighter touch? So before we were instructed, now we know, or the body knows, and we know what we're doing. So the fingers will turn in, you fold, you curl and fold forwards. Let yourself engage a little in the very base of the body. Let the breathing find its place. And then when you're ready, you come up. If we're there too long, they'll cue us to come up. You can use your judgment. When you are ready to come up, fingers turn to face forwards. If you need to adjust your sitting position before resting, you can do. If you need to stretch a leg or step a foot on the floor with the knee up, you can do. All our usual modifications are available for you. The invitation there, as always, just to remain sitting if you wish, or to rest another repose. But some of you might like to repeat the exercise one more time. So if you do, you know what to do, but don't feel obligated. And it's not about how far or how deep you go. It's kind of the quality of attention and the relaxing in. Now, as you sit and rest, can you allow that feeling of being seen from in front, an openness and an ease, and that support from behind? It can be the simple support as a loving hand on your upper back, that kind of feeling, the back door of the heart. Or if you want, you could feel or visualize or imagine behind you all the lineage of teachers who've influenced you, not just the Tibetan teachers and the Lingua teachers, but anybody who's had an influence on you. You don't have to recall them or name them, just have the feel of all that support behind you. And as you rest in this body of yours, can you know that you are unique, that you have all the qualities and abilities available to you that you've learned over the years, directly and inadvertently? Any learning you've had, any mistakes we've made, any successes and victories we've celebrated, all the milestones, they all inform how you are at this moment in time. We're not just this finely ordered, infinitely complex mechanism that houses and sustains life. We're all our histories, all our own lineages. We're at the spearhead, the front of, the thrust of, and all your potential, all that's in front of us. The world we create, the way we see things moment to moment, the choices we make, the plans we have, it's all there in us. We are both the kind of fruition of time and the seed, the time to come. Can you rest in this present moment, this body of knowledge?